Hello Flosstubers, welcome to my wee world. This is my first Flosstube video, so please forgive any issues with lighting or blurriness or anything else I might muck up along the way. This is a channel about cross stitch, a little bit of quilting, and also sharing some of my treasures that I've picked up here in Europe and on my travels along the way. My name is Martina. I'm an Irish lass living in Berlin in Germany, and I've been in Germany for the last 20 odd years. I think I started stitching and sewing when I was about 8 years of age. And then when I was 12, we had classes in home economics where we learned various embroidery stitches and how to use the sewing machine properly, and made some garments like aprons and cushion covers and some clothing, skirts, etc. And in college, I made ball gowns every year for myself and my friends because we used to love to go to the different department Christmas balls and have a blast. I done lots of stitching for interior design, everything from curtains to throws to pillowcases and all the other little bits and bobs that go with that. I love to travel. My favorite part of traveling is when I get the opportunity to throw a rucksack on my back and go off the beaten track. I realized that textiles have always been important to me because wherever I went, I would try to find out where they would make hand-woven things and needlework and embroidery. I remember going up the Mekong, or trying to find my way up the Mekong to the hillside tribes up in Laos and in Cambodia, because I had heard about the amazing work they did, and it was amazing, absolutely incredible experience. And I brought back some of the treasures that they made, which I'll love to share with you in later videos. Okay, so what should I talk about next? I'll talk about finishes a little bit. Bear with me. So my first finish, it's not fully finished. I still have a basket full of things to fully finish. I'm not the best on getting them fully finished, and I've gifted quite a few cross stitch pieces away. I usually take cross stitch pieces when I'm traveling and then gift them to people afterwards. So okay, so the first one is a Barbara Anna design. There's a little bit of a shadow, but hopefully you can see it. It's called Christmas Hair, and it was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the Christmas edition in 2019, I think it was. I changed out some of the colors because I didn't have the flosses that were all called for, and it's stitched on that polka dotty blue 32 count from Zweigart. You're getting a little bit of a shadow, but that's about the best I can do. So that's the first little one. The next one I have is a Lizzie Kate, and it's this one. I bought the little kit, and it was the first time I had used over-dyed threads. It's called Christmas is Forever, and it's a beautiful little chart. So this was my finish, and I think Pam from Just Keep Stitching did her one this year as well, but she's clever. She's got it hung up and fully finished and on the wall. So that's that. Don't look too close to the stitching. I'm not perfect, but I love it. And then the next one is, this is out of Cross Stitcher magazine, and it's the chart on the front, and it's called, I'll just flick through to it. Where are you? There you go. It's Happy Haunting, and that's the chart. And I bought the magazine specifically for this chart when I saw it. It's the October 2019 issue from Halloween. And there's some other cute little bits and pieces in there as well. So this is My finish, I changed the call for colors because I wanted it to look a bit more like the image that was on the front. Because the call for colors, the ones I had, they seem to be a lot brighter. So I'll just move this down. But it's so cute. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to frame it or make it a flat fold, but I just love it. It's so sweet. It's by Maria Diaz. She's really clever. That sun took a lot of work. It was my first time doing confetti stitches, so it was a challenge, but I loved it. So, okay, the next chart I have to show is one of my own. I've just started cross-stitch designing. Well, actually the first released cross-stitch design, because I've been designing for the last couple of years. Between that and quilting, which I also discovered 5 years ago, I'm obsessed with both of them, to the point that with quilting I bought a fully professional APQS long arm machine, and I hope to be long arming way into my 80s. I'll be this dothery old dear on her long arm, but I love it. It's brilliant. And cross stitch is they're my two passions, along with traveling. So the first chart, well, the chart I'm going to show you is called Santa's Greatest Gift, and I just released it this week in my Etsy shop. So I can just show you, that's the way, but it's a digital download, and the thoughts behind it is basically Santa giving the gift of health, because we've had a crazy year this year, like everybody knows. And I'll just show you a bigger picture so you can see a little bit more, and then I'll show you where I'm stitching. This is the digital rendition image because I'm still stitching. So Santa is giving the gift of health to a nurse. And I also included, I'll go back to this in a minute, I also included a chart for the future in case anybody didn't want, or an alternative way to change the nurse into a prim style lady with a little bonnet, and instead of the cross, her little apron, it can be like a little apron. So that's an option if people would like to stitch that. And I'll show you stitch version. I wanted to, it's on a massive big frame. I wanted to stitch it myself because some of the variegated threads that I fell in love with and thought would look lovely in the chart, I wanted to see how they would turn out. So I've been working on it since probably July I came up with it, so it'd probably be July, couple of months, but slowly, because I was picking floss, so it's really probably in the last 2 months, but I'm taking my time. So I thought better slow and steady than rush through it. So excuse the long scroll bars. I made this myself because I like to clip the chart on this side, and then it's on my floor stand. I do stitch in hand as well, but when it's a big piece, I like to pop it on a frame. So I'll be peeking over the camera here a little bit, but I'll just show you my progress so far. Not sure if I've got the lighting right that you can see, but that's the little tree. There'll be a lantern hanging from the tree. And then there's the little boy and the little girl, and there's the snow, and there's a little doggy. And the little doggy is based on my pet adorable baby Rowan, who was a King Charles Cavalier, but he passed away in 2009, so that's just a little nod to him. He had to go in my first chart. Some little houses, that's the nurse. I'll just scroll along. That's Santa with his basket, and this is the back stitched health. So you have the option, if you don't want to do the cross stitch, you can do the back stitched health. Sorry for the wobbles. Just, where am I now? Okay, I'll have to look through the back. Let's put a card up in between. It might make a difference. Hang on a second. So that's Santa. I've still got more stitching to do. Where did I put that piece of paper? There we go. Might show up a little bit better that way. Where am I? I can't see anything. Okay. Oh. Okay, I can peek around the corner. And then moving all along, it's got reindeer, and that's the cat's head, which I still have to finish off the rest of the body. And then there's another tree, there's an old barn, another little house, and there's still little bits of snow, and then the other tree goes in. So that's where I am at the moment, and I think it's turning out really, really cute. So I'll go back to the chart because it'll be a little bit easier to see. So I'll pop this down on the floor. Bear with me. Oops. Okay. So in the chart, I can talk about it a little bit more. So you've also got a little robin here on the tree and a cardinal there. And we think as well, I've heard the story about that if you see a robin, it shows that a loved one is near. So that's the same with the cardinal, I've heard too. Okay, so there's a little house, a couple of other little houses, some trees, the little girl in her little prim dress, the little doggy, the little boy, which I wanted to try to have different ethnic groups really in there. I couldn't get many people in, but I just wanted to give a nod, and especially this year was a difficult year, so the little boy is there. Santa holding the basket of flowers, and then you've just got health in cross stitch, and here are all little snowflakes up and along. Now I stitched this on a tea coffee dyed Newcastle 40 count linen because I didn't have any over dyed fabrics at that point. I only had a couple, but they were in the wrong shade, so I just tea coffee dyed it myself. But any fabric really, even vintage country mocha or American froth or American chestnut, any of those ones would suit. So on the other side then you've got another tree coming up, and it wraps around the two trees, kind of cocoon the people inside. There's a little cat, a little black and white cat there that's popped in the corner, and that's the little reindeer. Some little lanterns. It's actually only the bright orange that I put in the chart you actually only use for 4 stitches, which is in the little lantern. The snow, I did the snow with a melted effect because I wanted, if you love winter, then you can interpret it both ways, that the snow is coming and it's going to be a lovely wintry day. Or if you like warm weather like me, then you can say that the snow is melting and it's moving into spring just after Christmas. So that's my little chart. I'll just show you some of the flosses I used. So it's available on Etsy under Expanding Stitches, if anybody's interested in it. I wanted to stitch the first one myself because, well, I think it's the kind of thing, it's really nice to do it, and I wanted to test out the different flosses because I hadn't used some of them before. They're not the easiest to get over here in Europe. They're out of stock like everywhere in the world, but even in a normal year they can be quite difficult to get a hold of in the quantities you need, so I might have to try and order some of them from the States. So this is some of the flosses. I just hang them on these clips that are in the chart. I'm not sure if this will, well, let's try and gather this up a little bit. Show them. I have a tiny little bit of blue spruce, which is from Weeks. It mightn't show up that well. It's not getting a bit of a shadow, but it's a beautiful green. You could maybe use monkey grass or spinach possibly if you didn't have blue spruce, but blue spruce is quite unique and I really love the effect it gives, especially with the holly leaves. So that's the fancy flosses, and then the DMCs that go along with it are these ones. So you've got, there's a cup, that's the bright orange that you only use for 2 stitches. So I'll just stick that to the back. And let me just pop this one down. Oh, forgive me, I'm so nervous. Okay, so that's some of the DMCs that you use in there. Isn't it amazing how when you unwind a normal skein of DMCs, you get it. It's lovely and flat. But when you unwind it off bobbins, look at the way it comes out. It's all crinkly. That's the dark red in Santa's coat. I know that if you draw it across a damp sponge, you'll get the kinks out when you're stitching. So that's what I tend to do. I hang them on these little curtain clips. And in the hall, I've put up about 6, the hole's that way, 6 curtain rails. So what I do is I hang these little clips on a little U-clip that I can show you. A little U-clip, which are these. Let me just grab one. Okay, so they're little U-clips like this you can get. And they go on my curtain rail like that. That's just a DMC. This is for the DMC conversion. And I can put those little rings on it, or I can put these rings onto the U-clip, and then I can take them off really easy. That's why, because I'm starting to design and I want to be able to take the floss off really easily. So there's the little hook. It untwists, because I have all my flosses along my hole at the moment. And they look ever so pretty hanging them up. I'm looking at them every day, and they're in alphabetical order. So that's the flosses that are in the color, and they are really such pretty colors. I mean, when you put the two together, it's gorgeous. And any color combination I think will work. I did a lot of confetti stitching just to bounce around in using the variegated flosses. So, okay, there you get a little bit. Okay, the orange is really zinging it out. Let's leave the orange out because that's only 2 stitches. But you see some of the colors, it really does come across quite pretty. The red I used is Cupid from Classic Colorworks, I think it was. What's Cupid? Let me see. Yeah, Cupid from Classic Colorworks. And that's what I did with Santa's coat. So I jumped around when I was stitching so that you got like a mottledy little effect in his coat, which is, I can show you again. So yeah, you might see it a little bit better there. You see, I just jumped around, and I did the same thing with the floss I used in the inside of, where's the reindeer? Here. I did the same with that. That's cappuccino. So that's that. So that's a little bit about my first chart, Santa's Greatest Gift, and it's a digital download, and I absolutely adore it. And I'm really nervous and really excited. But yeah, fun and games. So, okay, what else would I like to say? Right, call outs, shout outs. I really do have to shout out these people because of them, I've found Flosstube, and it's given me so many hours of joy watching and subscribing and catching up with everyone. It's been wonderful. So the first people I'd like to call out are Deb and Liz from Country Stitchers. Deb's just posted up today a video of a little tour of her winter cabin. Her house, she's incredible at interior design and loves vintage things, and it's beautiful to watch. So I'd recommend you check out Country Stitchers. A huge thank you to Steph Schaffner from Just Keep Stitching with Pam and Steph. They are hilarious. I've watched them from the very beginning. I love every Monday over here when it pops up a video and I can sit down with a cup of coffee and just laugh and enjoy listening to them and all their antics. But Steph was incredible. I Instagram messaged her, and I had never contacted her before, just to ask how do you film the Flosstube video? What do you use? Do you fancy cameras, etc.? And she replied back and said, nope, they basically use the same phone I do, and gave me some tips on. Amazing. Thank you so much, Steph. I really, really appreciate it. So please check them out. They're fabulous. Another shout out, the crazy Colleen and Cheryl. You probably know straight away who I'm talking about, but that's Stitching with the Sisterlies. They are two sisters and they are absolutely hilarious. Every time I click on a video, I end up crying and splurting out my tea, and just the antics between the two of them back and forth and the teasing. And they have amazing quilting and stitching. And Colleen also has a long arm, so she shows some of her, or sorry, Cheryl is the long arm. Colleen does a lot of quilting and shows some of her quilting as well. So it's always really enjoyable. A long time favorite of mine that also has two channels now actually, and that's Anna, and that's Quilt Roadies and Stitch Roadies. And Anna lives in Sisters, and I think she's moving at the moment, and she is just a wonderful person. So let's hope you'll find your new beehive and be moved into your sewing room again soon, Anna. Let me just take a swig of coffee because my throat's getting a little dry. Okay, another fabulous, quirky, unique, fun, crazy lady has got to be Reid from Maximum Powerhouse on YouTube. And she's also a Flosstube. She sews so quickly. She has made amazing samplers. She's rather a famous musician who cross stitches, so I would go and check out her channel and give her a little bit of support because she is a wonderful person. The next person is Hands Across the Sea, Nicola Parkman. I've really enjoyed watching her videos. She's got such a beautiful voice and so calm, but recently I've loved them even more. Not only because of her beautiful samplers, but because of Hugo, the new boxer puppy, and he's adorable. He's so cute. So, another lady I've just discovered and quite like, because she's so natural and down to earth, and I've been watching her Vlogmas every day. She's a little bit closer, like Nicola, to me over here, where I live in Germany. So they're in the UK, and that is Michelle from MamalovesyouGB. She's been doing a little Advent vlog style Christmas the last couple of weeks, and it's been lovely catching up with her every day and popping in to see what little pieces of floss she discovers every day, and all her finishes and charts. And then last but not least of this list, I have more, but I'll do those in other videos. And I had to laugh because I couldn't watch this lady today, because if I did, I'd be here talking with a drawl, because I pick up accents really quickly. And that, of course, is Niecie Lynn. And Niecie is a scream. I mean, she just says what she thinks and comes out with anything. And the stories she comes out with are so interesting and funny. And here's hoping your husband is well and that everything turns out okay for you all. So I think that's it for my call outs. Yes, I should probably say hello to my friend Natasha. She has, from Natasha's Makes, she's got a sewing channel that's on YouTube and also on Facebook. And hello to our friend John Scott as well. They're two of my closest friends, and I adore them. So, okay, what else? Yeah, I'll show you two of the little treasures that I can share with you. This is, I won't keep you much longer in the video, or I'll ramble on till the cows come home. This is a vintage find I found basically on a market for a couple of euros, and I loved it when I saw it. I think it's hardanger, and as you can see, if I lift it up, it's actually it's hardanger or cut work. I haven't really examined or looked up exactly what would show, but isn't that beautiful? You can see the stitching on it, and it's on cross stitch fabric or hardanger fabric. I haven't tried hardanger yet, but I was amazed on how beautiful that is. I think it's stitched in a pearl cotton thread, but isn't that the prettiest thing? So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. But if you look, this is the back now. I mean, look at that. You have to glance twice to see which is the front and which is the back. So I think that is beautiful. And of course it was just chucked in a bag. I rummaged through and scrunched up. It wasn't loved, and I wanted to bring it back and also be able to share it and rescue all the work that somebody else did, and try and keep the joy alive. The other little piece I have to show today is another piece of hardanger that was in another place that I picked it up, and that's beautiful as well. Incredible. I would be so nervous cutting threads. But isn't that gorgeous? So at the moment they're just, I think they're little eyelet stitches in the middle there. But it's so beautifully done. And look at the back again. It's like, I mean, in comparison to the backs on my stuff, but look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And then what other little treasure can I pull out? This is, I picked this up at a Christmas jumble sale about 2 years ago, and it's just a little cushion with glass beads. I don't know when it was made, but I do know that the beads and the wire in the stitching are metal. So it's actually metal threads. I think it's what you call gold work. And then they're all little tiny glass beads, and little beads all around it. And it's just a little cushion. I just think it's so pretty. So somebody else's work that they did and loved, and yeah, I'm trying to rescue. So, okay, let me take another look at this. As I said, forgive all of this. I might be mucking this up completely, but hey ho. Okay, a little bit of haul, and then I'll pretty much finish. So I have some threads coming. I actually have to get more of the blue spruce to finish my big Santa's greatest gift, because I've run out. So there's an order of that coming, hopefully this week. A little bit of haul that I picked up that came eventually. It took a long time to come, but I'm delighted. And I have some plans for this. Going to get stitching on that this week for a Valentine's release chart that I have planned, and some spring charts as well. And this is a Weeks Dye Works fabric. It's called Blush, and this is, I'm not sure what count I actually got in this. I must take a look and see. But I have it written down. Did I write down what I did? No, 32 count. Yeah, there you go. It's a 32 count. So it's Blush. Oh no, that really is glaring, whitening out. Let me see if I can fold it so that you get maybe when it's thicker together, you can get a better idea of the pinky color. But it's a beautiful pale pink rosy color. That's not too bad. Maybe if I go back a little bit more. No, it's not really doing it. It's not as salmon pinky as my top. It's a bit more of a blush pink. And that's not too bad actually now. Assuming the camera doesn't widen it out. So that's that one. Then I got a week's dye work, the famous or the infamous, because my curiosity was killing me to see what this looked like. And as I said, it's very hard to get nice over dyed fabrics over here in Europe. Tin roof by weeks. I think it's by weeks. Yes, it is. It's tin roof. This is 30 count that I picked up, and I quite like it. The one I've got is a brownie. It's quite brownie actually. So, oh, I'm going to show them the card first instead of showing the fabric. So I think that's going to look really quite nice. And I have also got a couple of charts ready to start to stitch. I'm going to get model stitchers. I have a couple of friends that will hopefully jump in and shout, yes, we'll help you out once they're not too big a chart. And I can get some stitching done because I really won't have the time to stitch everything myself. So hopefully that will sort itself out. And this is the last little one, which is Seafoam. And it's also a week's. And it's looking a bit blue there, but it's actually more of a turquoisey green. Yeah, no, that's very blue. I wonder if I can go any closer. Not really. Maybe get a little bit, but no, it's a wee bit more of a blue. Okay, you might get a little bit of an idea if I've got it back here, but it's more of a greeny aqua color, and it's beautiful. It's really lovely. And then I picked up a bundle of flosses. They all came in the same order, and I just put those on a ring to admire at the moment. And yeah, quite a few of different ones that I didn't have. So that's Peacock, and I'm not affiliated to any of these companies. I just love their threads, and I'm exploring all the variegated. So that's Peacock, for example. King Mackerel, which is a kind of a bluey, it's more bluey grey. It looks a bit lavender on screen. Parchment, which everybody knows I didn't have any parchment. Guacamole, everybody knows that, I'm sure. Let me see, is there a new one that I tried out that, yeah, Miami is unusual, isn't it? Whoops, and it's come off. Okay. Look at the colours in that. So that's Miami. Now that could be quite interesting. So I'm going to have some fun to see what I can use that for. Molasses, Battleship. What other ones are in there? This is my roasted fig, which I love, and that's in the Tree of Santa's Greatest Gift, my chart. I've also got the DMC conversions in there, and they're not the standard conversions. They're actually colors that I picked out. So you can see here, that's actually the DMC colors, and excuse the big tangledy mess. Oh yes, I know who else I forgot to call out. Brendan the Cereal Starter, Brenda and Laura. Just as that, I was actually pulling out this DMC bundle where it's all tangled up, made me remember Brenda. I forgot it. They're also my favorites. They are, oh, they're just the nicest people that you can watch. So please do pop over and enjoy watching them as well. They do lots of gorgeous stitching and stunning samplers, and they yeah, they're lovely people. So back to, that's the DMC conversion, which is chaos, but the colors are okay. It doesn't really show up the colors, but for example, for roasted figs I picked 300, which is the tree trunk. And then for the Cupid, actually I was lucky enough to spot this one from DMC in my collection, which is the 115, which is a lovely variegated from DMC. And I tested that out, And if you jump around, it'll actually work really lovely. If you jump around with your stitching, it'll come out very much the same. A really tricky one to convert can be Jakey Brown. So I picked out that, whoops, dropped that color that works quite well for Jakey Brown. So I think, so everyone should be happy. If you can't get the fancy flosses, then you'll be able to stitch up with the DMC just as well. Okay, so I think that's it for my Flosstube, my first one. Okay, 35 minutes, that's not too bad. I thought I'd be still chatting an hour later, which I could easily do. And yes, for those of you that know me from Facebook, my hair is normally blonder. This is my winter color, and hopefully the color will stay in a little bit longer than the last color that I got in. So it's a bit different, but nice for a change. So yes, so I think that's it. I'll probably put up another video in about 2 weeks. And show you where I am on Santa's Greatest Gifts. I'll have got to the tree at that point, so I'll be able to, might even be finished. I'll have finished all the snowflakes and I'll be over, and hopefully I've got the tree, the second tree, all stitched and the rest of the snowflakes in. And I might unpick the back stitch and pop in the cross-stitched one version, because both options are in the chart. I don't know yet. But yes, so yeah. So I wish you a very, very happy Christmas. I know it's a very different Christmas for us all this year. Most of us can't travel to visit family like we normally do. A lot of members aren't as well as they could be. Friends all scattered all over the world. Wherever you are, may it be a joyful, peaceful and healthy Christmas. If you do like the video, it would be wonderful if you would like and subscribe. At least then I know it's kind of okay. So wishing you all the best, and take care, and talk to you soon. Bye for now. Bye.